Hello, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and I want to thank all of our keynote speakers, expert moderators, panelists, and solutions sponsors for participating in this year's Insight Jam Live. This has been a big year with the launch of the InsightJam.com community site and the amazing growth of the Insight Jam YouTube channel, which now has over 500,000 subscribers. Much of this success is tied directly to the video events, podcasts, and panel discussions we have been producing, and none of that would be possible without the thoughtful participation of the many IT professionals who are generously sharing their expert insights for this latest jam. We are building Insight Jam to be a place to celebrate enterprise technology with best practices, expert analysis, and solution showcases. And we want all of you to join us there to keep the jam going into the new year and beyond. If you haven't joined Insight Jam, please do. And if you already have, take a moment to invite some of your colleagues. And again, thank you all for being here and enjoy this event.
Solutions Review presents the Insight Jam Expert Keynote.
Hi, my name is Dr. Joe Perez. I'm a Senior Systems Specialist and Team Lead at the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. I'm also Chief Technology Officer at Cognomine. It's my honor and pleasure to speak with you today about the topic, when a tool is not a tool. I've been in the business for about 30-something years. I was an educator for 10 years before that, and hopefully I can bring something that will be beneficial and helpful to everyone involved. So, with that in mind, let me jump right into the story. All right. January 28th, 1986. The crisp Florida air vibrated with anticipation as millions of people who had their eyes glued to TV screens worldwide. The Space Shuttle Challenger, a majestic symbol of human progress, roared skyward, carrying the dreams of 7 brave astronauts and a nation that was literally yearning for the stars. Yet within 73 seconds, as we all know, that beautiful dream dissolved into a chilling nightmare. A seemingly insignificant rubber O-ring that was hardened by the unforgiving cold of the day betrayed its trust, triggering a catastrophic chain reaction that tore the shuttle totally apart and claimed all 7 lives aboard. Terrible tragedy. Now, this wasn't really a failure of engineering ingenuity. It was a stark reminder of the chilling consequences of underestimating the limitations of a tool. The O-ring, perfectly fine tool, but it was designed for balmy California temperatures. Now, this thing became brittle in the Florida cold of that morning, a silent harbinger of disaster. See, engineers had warned about the risks, but their voices were drowned out by the pressure to launch. The tragedy wasn't just about a faulty part. It was about a chilling lapse of judgment. It was a failure to acknowledge and respect the stark, cold reality of the situation. Okay, I would like for you to consider that word cold, C-O-L-D, those 4 letters in that word. And let me quickly share with you 4 areas of failure in that terrible tragedy. First of all, the C is for creativity. See, blindly trusting algorithms to generate content, well, that can stifle the spark of human imagination. And that leads to formulaic and uninspired outcomes. This is a lesson that's etched in your mind. O, that's for objectivity. Data analysis that are devoid of human empathy can lead to chilling oversights, like the temperature's impact on the O-rings. L, that's reliability. See, when responsibility becomes diffused, chilling consequences can easily go unchecked, as engineers' warnings remained unheard. And the D is for dependability. See, blind reliance on technology without considering all the limitations, well, that's going to lead to chilling moments when the tools that we trust betray us. So, the Challenger disaster itself wasn't a tragedy, just a tragedy. It was more like a stark lesson in the power and the C.O.L.D. cold potential of any tool, AI included. Just like the O-ring, AI holds immense potential for good, but its power demands respect, understanding, and responsible use. Now, today I want to dive into the chilling consequences when AI goes unchecked. And before exploring how we can harness its power for a brighter future, I want you to remember the choice is ours, ladies and gentlemen, either to succumb to the chill of misuse or ignite the fiery potential of AI for good. When a tool is not a tool, AI gone cold. Now, as we begin, let's see how the wrongful use of AI can endanger your progress in each of these four catalysts that spell the word cold: creativity, objectivity, liability, and dependability. Number one, endanger the progress. Let's look at the negative effects first. All right. Wrongful use of AI can stifle your creativity because you are barren. I want you to imagine a future laid in sterile shades of beige, devoid of any artistic treasure. AI algorithms churn out predictable content, stifling originality with the crushing weight of uniformity. Musicians become mere button pushers, right? Melodies are just echoes of pre-programmed harmonies. Writers lose their voice. Their words are just derivatives of AI generated narrative. Innovation stagnates. It's trapped in the frigid confines of algorithmic limitations. See, the spark of human creativity, once a vibrant flame, flickers out and dies, leaving out a chilling emptiness. Right? That's creativity, the C. Now, what happens to objectivity, the O? Well, it becomes endangered because you've been blinded. In 1995, Judge Lance Ito, remember him? He presided over the infamous trial of O.J. Simpson. His decision to allow live television coverage of the trial had long lasting consequences. The media circus surrounding this case not only impacted the proceedings, but it also shaped public perception of the justice system as a whole. The trial became a spectacle that overshadowed the gravity of the charges and the lives that were affected by what happened. Yet, amidst Ito's televised trial, we witnessed the complexity of human judgment going on, a blend of fallibility and compassion at the same time. The stakes, even though they were great, they can be rectified. Now, imagine a stark departure from what I just described, a world where AI judges with no empathy wield their gavel based solely on cold hard data. No human understanding at all. No human understanding, no human discernment either. Biases that are embedded in algorithms lead to discriminatory outcomes, perpetuating inequalities with the chilling precision of a machine. Nuances and context? Nope, those are totally lost. They're replaced by the unfeeling calculations of ones and zeros. That's it. And justice becomes a sterile process, totally devoid of the warmth of human compassion, leaving individuals and communities vulnerable to the cold grip of algorithmic injustice. Now, how about liability, the L in cold? Well, it becomes shunned because you've been bewildered. Now, imagine, if you will, a world where we rely solely on AI for critical tasks, only to have it fail at the most crucial moment. Say power outages that'll plunge cities into darkness, self-driving cars malfunction, right? That leads to chaotic accidents. In fact, there was one notable malfunction that involved a self-driving car, occurred in 2018. When an Uber prototype based on a Volvo XC90, like the one you see in the picture on your screen here, it struck and killed a pedestrian in Arizona. The crash was deemed to be avoidable, and it raised question about the safety of self-driving technology. Now, granted, this particular technology, well, technology in general, but this technology in particular has indeed improved over the last 8 years or so, exponentially in the years since then. But ladies and gentlemen, we become vulnerable, dependent upon a technology that can be as fickle as the weather, right? The frigid fear of failure cripples our trust, leaving us totally exposed and yearning for the solid reliability of human ingenuity. Do you realize what we've done? We have built, I don't know, a house of cards, right? On the foundation of AI. And one single gust of wind could bring it all crashing down. Now, the D, that's for dependability. And your dependability is fragile. Why? Because you've been broken. Again, use your imagination with me here a moment. A future where AI systems, hailed as the pinnacle of efficiency, but they become a burden on human expertise. Over reliance leads to decline in critical thinking and problem solving skills. Yeah. Manuals start gathering dust and they get replaced by some blind faith in AI's ability to self diagnose and self correct. When inevitable malfunctions do occur, right, the human element, which by that time will have become atrophied from disuse, is going to struggle to intervene. Consequences? Well, you're going to find a world where sophisticated technology has now become a crutch, hindering our ability to adapt and respond to unforeseen challenges. I'm going to talk about crutches a little bit more in just a few minutes. Okay, broken trust and a workforce ill equipped to handle breakdowns. Guess what? This is the price we pay for misunderstanding the true role of AI as a tool, an enhancement, not a replacement for human ingenuity. That's the way it should be. Oh, wait. Before you get totally wrapped up in despair, say, thanks a lot, Joe, a great keynote. You're supposed to be encouraging us with good news. You're ruining it. No, no, no. I don't want anybody to despair. Okay, because I want you to remember what I just said. AI is only a tool. Okay, and just like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil. And guess what? This guy right here, you, the human, we have the power to turn the tide, to embrace the warmth of possibility. All right, now that brings us to part 2 of this keynote. Because you see, here's where I'm going to explore how to use AI effectively, harnessing that cold power, if you will, for positive change. Now, with that in mind, let's embrace the power. And point number 2, take a look at the positive effects. Okay, the same 4 catalysts that we looked at a few minutes ago, right? Let's take a look at them from the opposite side. Once again, creativity, objectivity, liability, and dependability. C.O.L.D. First of all, the C is for creativity. Okay, what happens? It's stimulated. How? By a lit fire. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Recognize that AI is a catalyst and not a creator. Remember that. It has the ability to analyze vast data sets, identify patterns, and spark brand new ideas. Artists can use it to explore uncharted territory. Composers, well, they can use it to craft unexpected harmonies. Writers can use it to break free from writer's block. Okay, AI becomes like a muse that can ignite that fiery flame of human imagination, leading to a renaissance of creativity, maybe unlike anything we've ever seen before in the history of mankind. I mean, think about it. Okay, where else can you go to generate a photorealistic image of some mythical creature or study architectural marvels in mere seconds, just like that? How else can you probe the mind of Shakespeare, for instance, to get just the right rhyme you're looking for? Or maybe even Einstein, right? To get precisely the formula that unlocks the secret of the universe. Okay, or Beethoven, right? To extract that perfect note that's going to resonate through time. So, yeah, it stimulates our creativity, folks. It lights our fire, but only if we use it in the right way. Now, what about objectivity, the O? Well, here, objectivity becomes enhanced. How's that? How's that? How's that? By a level field. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, here's where AI can act as like a discerning lens, filtering out biases and misinformation. Algorithms, when they're used properly, are meticulously scrutinized and refined to remove any human prejudices, ensuring neutrality in decision making. That's the level playing field that I'm talking about. That's what I mean by level field. Historians use AI to uncover previously hidden truths. Journalists use it to fact check information with unparalleled accuracy, dispelling this fog of fake news and propaganda and so forth. See, AI becomes the keen eye that sharpens our collective creativity and objectivity and creates a world that's based on evidence rather than bias. See, this newfound clarity empowers us to make informed decisions and navigate those complexities of, of the modern world with greater understanding. I want you to consider the case of Ant Financial. This financial technology company uses AI algorithms to approve loans. Okay, they analyze vast data sets and they employ AI to assess credit worthiness objectively, free from any human bias. And the result? Well, a staggering 30% reduction in loan approval time, and that benefits both the borrowers and the lenders alike. Let's look at L for liability. And that liability becomes shared. How? By a united front. AI is going to operate between a clearly defined framework with shared responsibility for its actions. Developers, companies, and users are each going to play their part, ensuring responsible development and deployment. See, AI becomes a partner, not a liability, as we navigate the ethical and legal landscape together. In a way, we are putting up a united front. See, this is a world where transparency and trust, hopefully, they're going to guide our interactions with AI, creating a sense of shared responsibility and minimizing the chilling fear of unforeseen consequences. Consider the hospitality industry, right? Where AI driven hotel recommendation systems play a crucial role. Okay, picture this now. A hotel assistant powered by AI provides personalized recommendations to guests based on their own preferences. However, if the recommendations consistently fail to meet the guest's needs or their, expectations, it's going to reflect poorly on the hotel and it's going to undermine trust. So, to address this, this very scenario, hotel chains are increasingly accountable for the performance of their AI based systems. They utilize design researchers to conduct face to face interviews with real guests and real people understanding their wants and needs. And by actively seeking this feedback and continually adjusting the AI algorithms with these things, their aim, the hotel is, that is, to get better results and to enhance guest experiences. Finally, what about the D, dependability? Well, it becomes steadied like a strong fort. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we need to start seeing AI as a complement, not a replacement. Okay? It handles repetitive tasks with great precision, freeing up our human minds for more strategic endeavors that we're so good at. Engineers would use it to analyze these huge data sets, predict data maintenance needs, and optimize systems, ensuring resilience and reliability. AI becomes a shield, right? And that shield protects us from human error and, well, unforeseen circumstances. And this is going to create a solid foundation for a more dependable future. Now, how about a world where AI stands shoulder to shoulder with human ingenuity, building a stronger and more secure future, brick by brick? Okay, so what is it that makes the difference between point number one and point number two? That is, looking at the COLD acronym, C-O-L-D. What was it that made your creativity be stimulated rather than stifled? Your objectivity enhanced rather than endangered? Your liability shared rather than shunned? And your dependability fortified instead of being fragile? Great question. I want to suggest three reasons as we look at point number three, encapsulate the difference. Okay, what made it all possible? Well, first of all, it's because you used the tool instead of letting the tool use you. Second reason, you focused on the tool as an enhancement rather than a replacement. And lastly, you embraced the tool as a lever rather than as a crutch. I want to take a look at these three reasons a little more closely, shall we? All right, first, a catalyst for creativity. That is using the tool instead of letting the tool use you. All right, now, what exactly does that mean? What does that look like? Okay, to ensure that AI remains the tool and not the tyrant, there's several things we got to do. First of all, maintain active control. That is, resist the allure of complacency and actively participate. You yourself need to guide AI's decision. Question those recommendations, challenge those assumptions, and absolutely refuse to relinquish the reins of justice to algorithms alone. Remember, AI is not a sentient being capable of independent thought, at least not for now, and maybe not for the foreseeable future. We got to remember that. It is simply a reflection of the data and the programming that we humans provided it. We have got to keep that in mind. Please don't forget it. Secondly, cultivate a critical eye. And that is approach the outputs that you get from AI with a healthy dose of skepticism, recognizing its own potential biases and limitations, right? We also need to look at perspectives that differ from our own. Encourage debate, encourage diversity, prioritize human understanding over blind trust in machine-generated insight. Okay, don't just take what ChatGPT or Claude or U.com or Gemini, Bing Copilot, whatever, or any other generative AI tool tells you without checking it out and putting in your own thought. Don't be lazy. And then recognize that AI can only process information within the parameters that we ourselves have set. It cannot account for any nuances or complexities that are inherently human, and that's where we come in. Lastly, embrace continuous education. I cannot stress that enough, folks, because see, as AI continues to evolve, we need to evolve too, right? We have got to keep pace, right? See, our understanding of its capabilities and implications must also evolve. Engage in ongoing learning, explore ethical frameworks, prioritize conversations that foster responsible development and deployment. And hey, you have got to stay abreast of any new advances in AI research and any ethical guidelines to absolutely make sure that it is used responsibly. And as a result, mitigate any potential risks that might come up. The key is keep educating yourself, KEY. Let me give you an example. Okay, if you let this thing get the best of you, you might just come up with a recipe that sounds something like this. Meep, meep, commence by amalgamating 150 grams of sucrose with approximately 150 grams of sodium chloride infused lipid matter, ensuring homogeneous mixture. Proceed to gently introduce 55 grams of the albumin of Callus domesticus, being vigilant to avoid coagulation. The resulting concoction should then be subjected to thermal processing at precisely 177 degrees Celsius for a duration that does not exceed 12 minutes to achieve optimal consistency and chemical stability. Over. All right, maybe I'm being a little silly here. That sounded pretty complicated, didn't it? I can just imagine an incredibly sophisticated android, right, working on this extremely complicated amalgamation, as you see on the left of your screen here. I mean, look at about all the amalgamation, coagulation, thermal processing, chemical stability, employing vast amounts of computing power to bring it all to reality. However, what is the reality here? What's really going on here? Well, look at the little guy on the right. Mix sugar and butter, add an egg, bake for 12 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Enjoy your cookies with no computer required. Right? You get the idea. Okay, that's the catalyst for creativity. All right, secondly, a champion of collaboration. That is, look at AI as an enhancement rather than a replacement. Listen, folks, AI's true purpose lies not in supplanting human ingenuity, but in amplifying it. I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, first of all, use it as an automation or elevation. Okay, reimagine AI as, well, like a liberator that frees us from mundane tasks to focus on creative problem solving, innovation, and meaningful work that taps into our uniquely human strengths that AI cannot possibly imagine or compete with. Secondly, embrace the opportunity to redirect human energy towards tasks that require empathy, creativity, and critical thinking. Again, here is where AI's capabilities fall short. I also want to see collaboration for insights. And how do we do that? Well, we leverage AI's ability to analyze those great big giant data sets I keep mentioning, right? And uncover patterns that might elude our own human perception. But at the same time, we got to remember that it is our judgment, empathy, capacity for contextual understanding that can transform these insights into actionable wisdom. And finally, view AI as a powerful partner in knowledge discovery here, but at the same time, always retain the final say in implementing and acting upon these insights. Third key here, let's see it be a compass for confidence. And that is use AI as a lever rather than as a crutch. Okay, AI can serve as a powerful lever to multiply our capabilities, but it must never become a crutch that hinders our growth. Now, what's the difference between a crutch and a lever? Okay, look, a crutch compensates for weakness, but it often hinders long-term development, right? You become overly dependent upon that crutch. A lever, on the other hand, is a force multiplier, enabling us to achieve more than we possibly could imagine on our own. And our task is to distinguish between using AI to overcome temporary limitations and becoming overly reliant upon it, which can stifle human potential. I would rather have my potential be stimulated rather than stifled. And then you have to balance over reliance with empowerment. See, over dependence upon AI can atrophy our problem solving skills right here. And once again, as I said, stifle our creativity. Instead, view AI as a tool to expand our reach, tackling greater challenges, and realizing possibilities that would otherwise remain out of our grasp. So, the key is to continuously challenge ourselves to grow and learn alongside AI rather than becoming complacent and lazy in its shadow. Thirdly, something else we need to recognize: the human and the machine put together, right, produce a super intelligence. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, we need to recognize that the greatest intelligence arises from the synergy between human and machine together, not their competition, but their cooperation. See, let's leverage AI's analytical power to augment our own intuition, our judgment, our creativity, right? Creating a collective intelligence that surpasses both individual capabilities. And this is a case where the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. And the only way that is going to happen is if we view AI as a partner in exploration, discovery, and problem solving, where each entity complements and strengthens the other. Remember, folks, the future is not predetermined. Okay, the choices we make today will shape the relationship between humanity and AI. By using the tool, not being used by it, by enhancing and not replacing, and by leveraging and not leaning, okay, we can make sure that AI becomes a force for good, empowering us to build a brighter and more fulfilling future for all by the grace of God. You know what? This journey does not demand superhuman strength, but merely a conscious shift, if you will, in perspective. Okay? Let's approach AI with curiosity, not fear. Okay? With responsibility and not apathy, and with a shared vision of the future where technology amplifies our humanity, not diminishes it. In conclusion, imagine, if you will, the biting wind whipping across the sand hills in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, December 1903. Two brothers, Wilbur and Orville Wright, you know them. They huddled against the cold, their eyes fixed on that crazy looking contraption. It was unlike anything the world had ever seen before. And, this wasn't some fantastical flying machine from Jules Verne, as they might have read about. It was just a rickety little biplane, cobbled together from bicycle parts, fabric stretched over a wooden frame, and sheer audacity and grit. See, for years, the brothers had obsessed over flight, meticulously studying birds, tinkering with gliders, and braving countless crashes. They were ridiculed, ostracized, labeled bicycle mechanics playing with science, and other such things. But you know what? Here they stood, okay, on the precipice of history, if you will. Their tool, the Wright Flyer, as they called it, was poised to defy gravity itself. First attempt. Yeah, well, nothing glamorous. Not that big a deal. It was pretty short. Just just 12 seconds is all it was. Barely skimming over the sand. But it was enough. Okay? They had tasted the power of flight even for just a little while. The impossible dream had now been made tangible and possible. Over the next few days, they made more flights, pushing the boundaries of distance and duration. Each success fueled their determination. Each setback, a lesson learned. You know what? They were doing more than just flying a machine. They were forging a bond with their creation, understanding its every quirk and nuance. Were they passengers? No, they were pilots, right? Conductors of a symphony of wind and wood and wire, if you will. Hey, their story, yeah, it was about a groundbreaking invention, but also a testament to the power of using the right tool in the right hands. They did not blindly chase after flight. You know what they did? They very carefully studied birds, experimented with gliders, and adapted after countless failures and crashes. They did not fear failure, ladies and gentlemen. Instead, they saw failure as a stepping stone on their journey, learning from each setback and allowing them to refine their approach each time. And most importantly, they did not view their plane as a master to be obeyed, but as a partner to be understood and controlled. They were not just passengers on a whim, they were pilots. Okay, their deep understanding of the Wright Flyer, allowing them to coax it up into the sky. And in that sense, well, the Wright brothers, inventors, yeah, but in the embodiment of what my keynote presentation advocates, and that is harnessing the cold power of AI without succumbing to its chilling potential. All right. Their success was more than just a stroke of luck, but rather the culmination of an enormous amount of preparation, unwavering passion, and a really deep understanding of their tool. Okay, just like the Wright brothers mastered their tool, the Wright Flyer, we too can harness the power of our tool, AI, not as a force to be feared, but as a tool to be wielded responsibly and skillfully. Let's let their story be our guide, right? Because as we navigate the exciting yet potentially treacherous skies of the future, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the tool is ours to control, not a master to be obeyed. The sky is ours to explore. It's not a domain to be feared. So let's choose wildly, fueled by the warmth of human ingenuity and responsibility, and go ahead and take flight like the Wright brothers did, right? With the immense potential of AI, illuminating the way before you. You know what? The future is ours to forge. And the choice is ours as well. One thing or the other. Either succumb to the chill of misuse or ignite the fiery potential of AI. How? For what? For creativity, objectivity, liability, and dependability. Well, you know what? That's exactly what I've been talking about the last few minutes. When a tool is not a tool, AI gone cold. Let's make sure that tool stays a tool and that it doesn't go cold on us. Thank you so much for your time.
For video highlights, replays, and more, visit InsightJam.com.